Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to AskAJ. I'm AJ Hanna from Symphony Ventures, and we talk about robotic process automation and intelligent automation here. And I wanted to talk for a few minutes about some questions that I get occasionally from people who've heard me speak or perhaps have watched previous episodes of AskAJ, when I've made the comment that if I could go back, knowing what I know now, to the start of our RPA program that we started, what would I do differently? And I've said many times, one of the things that we should have done very early on was to develop a formal data strategy around our automation program. And there are a couple of reasons why. And really, people have asked me, AJ, what data are you talking about? When you think about a strategy, what are you thinking about? In our case, RPA begins creating a new exhaustive data specifically around the way in which the transaction is processed, the workflow through the transaction. That was something that we weren't capturing in an audit trail, so we ended up knowing more about what the robot did with a piece of work than we did our own associates. Well, if you want to use your data in order to create new efficiency in your processing, that data is critical. For many people, their data program is set around the idea of gaining insights and analytics. So when I talk about a data strategy, I think about four key things. First of all, I sit down and I think about what it is that we really want to do. Again, it's a strategy. Strategy implies a plan, and part of that strategy and plan is to try to figure out what it is you really want. Is data only useful to you for insights and analytics, or are you looking to use the data in order to create new process efficiencies in your transactional processes? Oftentimes that's data that may or may not be captured, or it could be captured and not utilized. Do you have an idea of who the stakeholders are of the outcomes of that data work? Who do you need to be working with? Who do you need to interact with in order to ensure that your strategy is as effective as possible? The next thing you need to do is do a current state analysis. So you need to understand what you currently have access to. You need to understand where it's housed, how it currently is organized and extracted, and start thinking about the pieces of that puzzle that you don't have in place currently that you'll need to moving forward. The next step is really putting your plan together, and that plan includes a gap analysis that tells you what you have versus what you need in order to meet the goals that you set earlier. What tools or what data sources are you going to need to have access to? What resources, data strategists, data scientists, what type of resources do you need to have available to you in order to be able to manipulate, to organize, and extract the data the way that you want to? And then finally, you have to have some sense of how you're going to govern that strategy and plan in the program. You need to know who needs to be a part of the decision-making process, how you prioritize, which data elements that you're going to pursue that you don't have, in what order, and how are you going to use that data along with the tools that you've created or that you've acquired for your intelligent automation practice, and how they're going to interact. Now that's pretty simple and straightforward. You can go into a lot more depth in what a data strategy is and what the elements could be. But again, for those of you who are starting your intelligent automation program, please don't forget to include some sense of the data, what the data is, where it's coming from, how you're going to house it, and what you think you want to use it for later on. And that will just help as you start to move from, say, RPA into things like machine learning, cognitive, and AI, which need all that data in order to be effective. Well, thank you for joining me. Remember that the YouTube channel is at AskAJ Hanna. Please subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at AskAJ Hanna, no H on the end. And you can drop me a note at AskAJ@symphonyhq.com, and we'll see you again next time.